Unmuted.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to our Extra Life 24-hour marathon of fun. So far we have played a very long game of Kobolds Ate My Baby, which was amazing. And thank you, Amanda, so much for participating in that. We have gone to our Abington location via Zoom call a couple of times, and they have played some games there. John showed off a very cool single-player game called MacLeod, which was awesome. And I played some Star Wars Squadrons with 10 Rabid Bears over on his stream. But now we're back here because one of the things that I had planned for this evening was a Modern Masters 15 sealed event. Time has sort of gotten away from us, and we haven't really done what we wanted to do, but we're still going to open some Modern Masters packs, and we have on the line with us our friend Neil from the Abington store, and she's going to show off her deck once we get that going. Yeah, she's just a disembodied voice right now, but when we get to the... I still have the music playing.
Oh,
when we get to the...
when we get to the game portion of things.
We'll get to see her deck, and
we'll bring her on.
She'll talk about her deck build and stuff. The reason I wanted to do some Magic stuff on stream tonight is that we have some Magic-related prizes in the prize pools. We have the Zendikar Rising Commander decks. There's 2 Zendikar Rising Commander decks, Sneak Attack and Land's Wrath. And if you donate to our Extra Life fundraiser, I'll post a link, then you can be in the running to get those.
Yep.
I should probably also send out a tweet or something.
Probably.
And a lot of people have been checking that out. We also have a Mana Crypt that is up for up for giveaway right now. And I know that a lot of these, I can see several Magic folks in the chat who have donated, and that's definitely for the Mana Crypt. So that's doing well. And Sims found a secret stash of Magic-related Penny Arcade pins, one of which is exceptionally rare. He's got a Penny Arcade Australia Chandra that is an Australia exclusive.
I may need to put my name in for that one.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got those listed yet, but if you click
Chandra.
the link that I just put in chat, you can check there to see what they have.
I have a Penny Arcade Chandra.
I mentioned that when he showed it off. I was like, oh yeah, Amanda's got a Chandra.
Just not that one necessarily.
Exactly.
I'm looking.
Well, give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to send out a notification that we're live again.
No, it's not up there yet.
Okay. And then we're going to open some packs and very, very, very quickly build decks so that we can play against Neil, who has already built her deck and has it ready to go and has been waiting patiently. She sent me a message at 5 o'clock saying, when are we doing this? And I was like, I'm playing Star Wars in like an hour.
Ooh! Oh! Rating! Thank you, 10 Rabid Bears.
Hello, 10 Rabid Bears Raiders. We were just saying that we are going to open some Modern Masters 2015 packs live on stream, and then we have our friend Neil on the line. We're going to make some decks, and then we're going to play some Magic with them. I am just sending out a tweet. Give me a couple of moments. Amanda, do you want to fill some time while I do this?
Sure, I'll stretch for time.
You can start opening packs.
Yeah, I'm going to start opening my cards, actually.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else Magic related in the... Oh, there is! We had an art piece, an altered art piece of All Is Dust that we found in the loft. And that
hey,
is
Shiro, how's it
well.
going?
Hello, Shiro. Thank you for playing some Star Wars with us.
So yeah, do check out the Battleground Games and Hobbies team page, check out Sims's page, so that you can see all those incentives. And he will be adding the rest of what he's found when he gets a chance, hopefully soon, because we're in the middle of it. Anyway, I'm going to start opening cards. So this set was the set that came in this funky cardboard packaging.
Yeah, sometimes the cards are slightly crimped or damaged.
Not fantastic. This was their experiment in more sustainable packaging, and I applaud their efforts. However, the packaging did allow for some card damage, which was really frustrating.
Especially when you got a good card.
Yeah. So I'm just going to start doing my stuff, and I'm going to sort by color as I open. Already heavy in black.
I like black. You know that about me.
And some white. I do like that. Sure. Okay, that is going to be difficult, but sure. All right, so my rare there was the Wilt Leaf Liege. It's 4 CMC for something that pumps up my green creatures and my white creatures. And if a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard it, you put it onto the battlefield instead. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
4/4 Elf Knight for 4 that pumps your other creatures. My green, I don't have much green yet, so we'll see how that goes. It was fun playing Squadron. Sorry, I'm terrible, says Shiro.
Oh, I was having such trouble. I could not remember the controls at all. It had been too long. I couldn't figure out how to boost. I was like, this button? No. This button? How do I boost? I want to go fast.
Getting a little more.
Interesting thing to think about with this set too is
Yeah.
the archetypes.
Yeah.
So one of the archetypes you might end up noticing is there's a lot of artifacts in this.
Yes.
Which is actually mirroring the last set, Modern Masters, which was also fairly artifact heavy.
Oh, good point. Yeah, Double Masters definitely had an artifact feel to it. So Neil, how are you feeling about Commander Legends?
So, I guess I do have some interest. I'm very interested to build in it. There's a lot of cards I think are very interesting. One card in particular was a 6-mana card that when it enters the battlefield, you put your commander onto the battlefield. Not tap to attack, but it has haste, and you can attack with it. I find that really cool, and possibly in a few decks like Eldrazi decks that somehow want to actually.
Where you want to get the giant stuff.
I wonder if there's an Eldrazi deck you could throw that in, considering now that we have the option of a lot of partner commander options. But the one particular deck I was thinking about the most was Ur Dragon. Ur Dragon has a huge enter the battlefield effect. That when you're in the battlefield, you draw a card and when you attack with it, it's not when you enter the battlefield, draw a card. It's when you attack with a dragon, you draw a card and you put a permanent in your hand onto the
Pure
battlefield.
garbage.
Yeah. I wouldn't have tossed it over there if it wasn't.
So I'm very interested in that card.
So I haven't had as much time to look at some of the previews as I would have liked, but the previews I have seen have definitely made me really excited about the set. I always enjoy interesting tricks.
Where did you get that playmat? It's amazing. The one that Andy has?
This one? So at one point, Battleground did a promotion and ended up getting a ton of Squirrel on a Toad playmats, as well as a ton of Squirrel on a Toad deck boxes, which was very confusing for a while because they were not surgical extraction. I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my first rare. I actually hate playing against that card, so I don't know if I'm going to be mean enough to throw it at people, but it's a card.
Yeah,
I
can't
love
remember the
opening
exact
packs.
money cards in this set, or this the chase rares. The I will say in my pool there wasn't anything. So
Yeah. So I have opened a lot of Modern Masters because we bought a box of every Modern Masters set and opened a box at least, and I've done some Modern Masters drafts, and I couldn't find my other. I have an unopened box of OG Modern Masters somewhere.
It's somewhere in that closet.
Yeah. But my point is, I've opened an awful lot of this stuff. I have never gotten a Tarmogoyf.
Yeah,
it
no
was
goyfs.
reprinted in almost every Modern Masters set. Almost every one.
No goyfs for us.
So I've
only seen
got 4 more packs to open a Goyf. Let's see if it happens.
Too bad they're not at the prime when this came out, because when this came out, Goyfs were still going for at least $150.
I remember that. Yep, they were definitely money cards. So my second rare is Long Forgotten Goi, which is a Champions card, I think. Arcane spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I remember Arcane was a thing in this, which confused me because I had never played with Arcane when it was around in the first run.
Heavily a Arcane and Spirit build around in this deck, in this entire format. Also, actually, I would say one of the more powerful synergies in this format.
So I've talked before on stream about my problem with sealed pools. I love playing sealed. It is one of my favorite formats, but I am bad at it because I eventually find one card that I'm really excited about, and I'm like, this card is amazing. I must play it. So I build a deck around that one card, some rare or mythic that does something cool, and in a 40-card deck, you draw that one card 1 game in 3, if you're lucky. So I build an entire deck around one card and then see it 1 game in 3. It's suboptimal. All right, germs.
I had alluding on to that, the last sealed pool I did was the Double Masters sealed pool.
Mm-hmm.
In which there was that the high tournament where there was at Battleground Games, they were distributing to the winners their pick of the promo cards.
Right. Yes.
In that sealed pool, I opened a Mana Crypt. But unfortunately, my other cards were suboptimal, and this alludes to what I feel like is a very interesting mindset, especially when building and draft, is usually my viewpoint is that you're usually looking to go to the end game, unless you're in some sort of super high powered pool, which like something like a power cube of some sort. But I noticed in a lot of cubes or at least a lot of sealed pools where things tend to be a little bit slower. Usually it's just whoever can consistently bring out damage, and the real money, and actually not money, but the real power in your deck is usually in your commons and uncommons.
It's so true. It's so true. And you realize after you've done a lot of sealed events that you're going to have certain archetypes you're building towards. You need to have a certain amount of basic removal in your deck. You need to have a certain amount of evasion of some sort, way to hit, or, an alternate win con if you're not doing that. I thought Dimir Guildmage was rare. I guess it's an uncommon in this set.
Is that the one where it has 2 abilities on it?
Yes.
One activates a discard effect, and the other one acts a draw effect?
Yep. 3 in a blue, target player draws a card. 3 in a black, target player discards a card.
Yeah. I think that would be a bit, actually, considering the power level of cube, that might have been a bit of a slap to the face for a rare. Even though, actually, I think this also brings up another thing, too, especially with the power of rares, which I know a lot. So I found out there is definitely a correlation of the weaker your rare is, the better it is in a draft. And that's something I've always noticed is that even so, not saying that the really good cards are not good for a reason, but so if you opening Tarmogoyf, for example, isn't as powerful in this format as let's say Modern, because you need to apply the synergies that actually makes Tarmogoyf so powerful. Which
Right,
is
you need to have a wide variety of cards available and a way to get them into your graveyard.
While something more, something that's more not as basically of a power card, but incredibly valuable card. Something like Niv Mizzet. He is a very. I'm speaking of the original Ravnica Niv Mizzet, which is draw a card.
Yep, ping. Yep.
That card is incredibly powerful in a draft setting, but when you move it up to, let's say, past draft into constructor formats, it doesn't hold up as much. But in draft, though, in your limited card pool, it's very good. So I think evaluating cards sometimes is also just the idea that you are going into a late game, and what's going to give you consistent value over the late game, that if it isn't answered, you'll win the game. And I would say Niv Mizzet's an example of that. And that's why those cards are usually the ones you want to build around, because they're the rares that will in the end when you game, because eventually we are talking about, you correct, it's 1 in 40 cards.
Yeah.
There is a high chance at least halfway through the game you will at least have picked up, either halfway through the game or 2/3 through the game, you will have picked up this bomb card. And that will synergize the whole deck.
Alright, so folks, just fair warning, my 6th rare was All Is Dust.
Oh.
So I may be going colorless. I definitely want to have some, like I said, some removal. I've got some evasion in here already. I don't think...
the best. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't think that the long forgotten goes in Gohei? Gohei. Gohei.
Gohei?
It's one of them weird Kamigawa cards. But I don't think it goes in this deck because I'm not going to be playing some spirits. But I feel like if this is the trap I fall into. This is what I'm saying. I have All Is Dust, so I need to play colorless, right? There's no other way.
Well, I mean, one thing to think about this is that All Is Dust is basically a board wipe. It's a Wrath of God.
Yeah.
And you want to build around. You want to build around it. At least your mindset right now is to build around it in a way where it's a one-sided effect for you, and you defeat the entire side of the board. But I would argue that there is an archetype in there that will allow you to do that, but it can at least maybe synergize with a strong strategy. Something like blue-white artifacts, or since though that fits a colors theme, but you also have blue and white for very, very good destruction and removal value.
I feel like I'm going to put some living weapons in because they're handy as both creatures and after the creature dies as equipment.
Very, very handy. Probably one of the better commons you can pick up in your pool.
Yeah, I've got mortar pods and flare husks. So I think I'm going to throw those in. I sadly don't have any Eldrazi. Yeah, no Eldrazi at all. So, although I have an Eldrazi temple, I think it's not going in.
I think there's only like a handful of Eldrazi's. I think it's just the main three. Kozilek, Ulamog, and what's the last one?
I have Ulamog's Crusher.
And that's the last one. That's the fourth one I'm thinking of. I think those are the only 4 Eldrazi's in this set, but I'm incorrect. There's more than there's colored Eldrazi. bourgeoisie in the green front.
All right. All right. I think I know where I'm going with this. It's stupid. Just how many creatures do I play in a 40 card deck? Probably not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, you
7,
can consider
8,
the living weapon
10,
as creatures.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. So now I need removal or something. Like I said, I have that surgical extraction, but I'm not going to inflict that on you folks. It's just such a pain in the behind.
I'm
that
not sure
card.
what you could hit in the format. That would be very useful.
So my black removal is not great. I've got a bone splinters, which is handy for stuff that I want to kill, but it's not really where I want things to be. Maybe I just burn you guys, just shock you. The original, the first Modern Masters, had a storm mechanic in it. Like, it had enough storm in it that you could legit build a storm deck if you were lucky.
Unfortunately, Modern Masters 1 came at a time where I was still a relatively out of high school college student, very new college student, and I still could not afford such things as the expensive Modern Master draft. There were some very unique themes in the original ones, though.
All right, so trying to find some support to go with my mostly colorless deck.
Okay.
Looks like Amanda's getting close to finished with her deck. $23. All right.
Cool.
For lands, Amanda and I have pulled all of the full arts that we got out of. Are you going to need planes?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I may need to go grab some more planes then. No! Cards, where go? All right. Amanda, if you would mute me, I'm
Sure.
going to go in search. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go in search of some more lands. Here are sleeves if you would like to start sleeving up.
also need forests. So 17 lands, 15.
All right, I found a box entitled Draft Lands. Let's see if that box is correct.
I recently grabbed a bunch
it is
of...
entirely tokens. Why did I label a box full of tokens Draft Lands? Be back again. You found what?
I recently found a box of, not unlimited, but 3rd edition.
Ah, ooh.
Which, I'll be using those. Unfortunately, they're just basic. They're a little bit higher print than any other lids.
But still, they're fun.
Well, they're fun.
It's fun to have that.
It's really, I like old art a lot.
Mm.
It has a certain quality to it that, honestly, it's actually why I liked the full art of the Devil Masters, because it was much more, I think it felt a little bit more unique in a sense, because it was so, what's the way to say it? It looked very original, and I really liked that quality to it.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right. I'm back. If you want to unmute me, Amanda. This box, which is an Avison Restored bundle, has sleeves for draft, and yes, a number of full art lands. These are all Battle for Zendikar lands. Here you go.
Thank you.
Don't mind me, I'm just adjusting my camera.
Yeah. Sadly, chat can't see you right now. Yes.
I know.
Card sleeves for my deck.
There's 100 card sleeves in there, so
Oh,
you're building
so-
a 40 card deck.
So we'll play with the same color card sleeves?
Or you could use these Han Solo card sleeves.
Sure. I just think, if either of us has anything where we get to, steal someone else's card, that could get very confusing very fast.
It can get confusing.
I have built something super janky,
Yeah?
so we'll see if it works.
Okay.
It doesn't really have a win condition so much as it has a,
I mean, mine is just basically...
Pi is live on her channel. Awesome. We will go over to her once we have played a game.
Yeah. Do you want to play a game against Neil? Or...
No, you can, and I'll talk about my deck, and maybe you and I can play a game later.
Okay.
I will commentate.
Sounds like a plan.
Neil, it is very good to have you on.
Same.
Have not seen you in far too long.
I know. I mean, considering everything that's going
Yeah.
on, it's good to talk to you both. Since I'm a very social person, so talking to people makes me very happy.
Good. I'm glad that you were able to join us. That makes me very happy. So how have you been?
So I have been stuck in my home maze mostly. I've currently.
Oh, Shira, thank you for the donation.
Continue, Neil.
Yeah. Currently, I'm working
Yeah.
for my job. Other than that, I've been trying to catch up with Magic by playing Magic Online, but unfortunately, it's not working out too much.
Yeah.
It's even more unfortunate that I just recently completed a deck that I've been really wishing to play for EDH,
Oh,
but haven't had the opportunity, unfortunately.
that is a bummer.
Mishra Artificer Savant,
Ooh,
which
I like it.
for anyone who does know that card will be very confused because that card is not very playable.
But I like the artifact implications there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know what the card is, it's a Grixis card. Grixis colors in one colorless. And it's a 4/4 creature with an effect that says whenever you cast an artifact spell, or whenever you play an artifact spell, you may search your library for an artifact with converted mana with the exact same name as that spell, as that artifact, and you may put it on the battlefield. So it might seem kind of weird though, because that card, in a sense, doesn't work very well in EDH since it's all singleton.
Yeah.
Right.
The way I get around that effect is that I play world effects that will either counter everyone's cards, or as technically I have cards that can steal artifacts.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So if they have an artifact that you have somewhere in your deck.
One could be called Soul Ring.
Yup. That's going to be a common one.
And I could theoretically play your Soul Ring and trigger the effect of my Mishra to search for my Soul Ring and put both on the battlefield. What I like the most though is playing the card Possibility Storm, which whenever you cast a spell, you exile that spell, and then you basically keep revealing cards until you have a spell that shares a type with that card, and then you put the card on the battlefield, and you shuffle the one you just had back into your library. The trick with me.
So then it's in the library for you to grab. I like it.
So there's basically I play around with that effect. So I actually in a way I also use shuffling as a really big bonus because I can shuffle a lot of cards that don't work, or use cards that I can look at my top card to look for better cards.
I like it.
Okay.
I'm into it.
So what do you think of the Cascade card?
Ooh, I thought that's going to be very, very exciting in pretty much every deck that uses that somewhat effect, like Maelstrom Wanderer, or in certain green decks. I find it good that they at least put it onto a creature card, and it's non-legendary, I believe. So that at least you can now. It also puts major value in green decks, so it will definitely be a spending 10 mana with the game card. So I'm really excited to see what will come out of it.
All right. I'm going to switch some inputs around here so that I can use this camera for the Zoom call. Oops.
So what cards have you guys been excited for in the new set?
I haven't really had a chance to look at anything. My work has been very overwhelming, so my brain sort of shuts off when I get home, I'll be honest.
The card I'm most looking forward to messing with is the new Dirtle Turtle.
Oh,
which is
so
just
dirtily.
Yeah. It's a ridiculous idea, and I love ridiculous ideas.
Interesting. What does the Dirtle Turtle do?
Let me see if I can find it for you. Give me a second here. I'm just zoop. Kajoop. There we go. except that it's upside down.
I guess people will not be. I wonder if anyone will be seeing my board.
Come on. There we go. Good enough. Pretty close. All right. So, boo, 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 boo.
I have to. Okay.
What's up?
Nothing. Just planning for the future.
Amanda, can you...
I feel like I can actually plan for the future right now, which is amazing. What's up?
give me a second and I'm going to have you mute the two of us.
Okay.
I just need to get the Zoom call up here. I've learned all new techniques of streaming in order to do this, which is interesting times. There we go. Gonna mute this. No, mute. Sorry.
Oh.
There we go. Sorry about that, folks.
That was
That
sure.
Pitch noise.
Yeah. Just a little bit of feedback for your day. Okay, and then where did I put? There we go. Amanda, if you want to fill some time on it.
Sure.
So since I'm not going to be playing right away, since Andy's going to play against Neil, I will talk about my deck. How's that sound?
Oh,
Amanda, you can mute us now. Sorry.
Sorry,
chat, about the echo. That should solve that problem. Are we good?
Yep.
Awesome. So I'll
Neil,
talk
you
about...
can still hear us, right?
Yep, I can see you.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll talk about my deck a little bit because you guys are going to be playing and I'm going to be watching. So I went with a green and white deck. I went with Selesnya, not just because I had two Selesnya hybrid cards, but that did play into it. I have the Selesnya Guild Mage for one, and the Wiltleaf Liege, which I had mentioned earlier. So the Guild Mage lets you put creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, or put a 1/1 green sapperling creature token onto the battlefield. Wiltleaf Liege did other green creatures you control get +1/+1. Other white creatures you control get +1/+1. And I thought, okay, I've got these two green-white cards. I could play either of them in another green and something deck or another white and something deck, but I do have a fair amount of green and white that do bulking creatures up. So I had a fair amount of creatures and creatures that bulk up other creatures, which seemed very Selesnya to me. So I had Overwhelm, which you can cast with Convoke, and creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. I had 2 copies of Thrive, put +1/+1 counter on each of the X target creatures. Comes in for X and a green. I had the Nest Invader to get me some Eldrazi spawns so that I can sacrifice them and get more mana to power my Thrive and stuff like that. I had Vines of Vastwood, which I can kick to give a creature +4/+4. I had a couple of artifacts. The Court Homunculus gets +1/+1 as long as you control another artifact. Let's see, Kavu Primarch. If you kick it, it comes in with 4 +1/+1 counters on it, which is where I was going with this. So I had ways to get tokens onto the battlefield and then ways to play with +1/+1 counters. and ways to bulk things up. So I had like Fortify, Copper Carapace, Spectral Procession. So I would have had Spirit Creature tokens. So a lot of tokens, and then +1/+1 counters was my goal. I had Cytoplast Rootkin. When it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. And you can move a +1/+1 counter from target creature you control onto Cytoplast Rootkin, and it comes in with 4 +1/+1 counters. Algae Garial, which is a sort of crocodilian sort of thing. Whenever another creature dies, you may put a +1/+1 counter on it. And I figured it got a lot of tokens, so they're going to be dying. Just send them right onto the front line and kill them off. Yeah, that was my basic idea. There was bulk up my creatures, put +1/+1 counters on them, make them big, smash base. Not
creatures bigger.
Yeah, not the most elegant of decks. And it's not, like I said, it doesn't really have a solid win con. The win con is overwhelm people with creatures that have been bulked to hell. My other cards were decent, but didn't really have enough synergy with any two colors to really construct something worthwhile. I wouldn't have minded playing blue-black. I have said in the past that blue-black is a combo I am fairly comfortable with. But it just didn't, the blue and the black didn't really come together. I opened 2 blue-black cards. I have the Dimir Guildmage and I have Agni Warp, which is a Grixis card. So I could theoretically have added that in. I did have a fair number of counters and stuff, but my blue was a weird collection of like, oh, this one is artifact, based. This one is proliferate. This one is cryptic command. So, like counters, card draw, artifacts, graph. Like there wasn't enough blue in any one mechanic to really make it solidly in one archetype. And the best bet for combining with that probably would have been black. And then black didn't really work with those. It didn't come together. It didn't gel. I was fairly heavy in black, and I would have loved to be able to play with the 2 changelings that I got in black. I got Nameless Inversion and Ghostly Changeling. So Nameless Inversion is an instant. It's a tribal instant, but I would have liked to be able to play that. But
Hello?
hey,
Andrew, you can still hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Can you hear us all right?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Just let me know when we're starting.
and
Yep, I'm just messing with my camera angle.
yeah, I just didn't get quite enough of any one mechanic in black and blue. There's a little bit of mill, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Nothing solid enough to make it worth building together. But my green was pretty solid and my white was pretty solid, and they did have some, common things figuring into them. I didn't even look at my red.
I think we're ready to go. So, do you want me to use the app to decide who goes first? I have an app up on the stream right now. You can't see it, unfortunately, Neil. Just gonna roll. That is a 2 for me and a 1 for Neil. So I will play, if you don't mind. Obviously, you can't cut my deck.
I on stream pretend I cut your deck.
Okay, thank you very much.
I could cut his deck for you. I can do your hands, Neil.
She's got very good hands on stream. Okay. So, London Mulligan.
All right. Yep. I do have some criticism on the London Mulligan myself.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, let's hear it.
My opinions on the Lending Mulligan is that I do believe it enables combo decks to a overpowered degree. I
Hmm.
believe it gives it too much power, and honestly, I think it makes certain decks that people tend to see as unfun more consistent, and also takes out the risk of playing those decks. For instance, maybe a deck that runs only one land. Maybe I find that maybe not even that's maybe
Yeah.
it tends
I
to
get where
crude,
you're
but
coming from with that. Like
I
combo
can
decks
see it.
can do some deck sculpting
Yeah.
in the mulligan process. Speaking of mulligans, I had a garbage hand.
You're mulling.
Yep, I have a 6.
I will be keeping my 7.
Okay.
You mole drifter, you.
Oh, do people get to see my hand?
No, I mean
I
you
didn't
could
see
show it off if you want, but I actually I can turn the screen so I can't see it if you want.
Oh. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It could be interesting for the stream if they could see my
Sure, hang on.
see.
There, now I can't see.
All right, so this will be my opening hand.
You draw 7. I just said we were doing London Mulligan and then I forgot.
God, I love those old lands. Oh,
They're so beautiful.
it gives me such a sense of nostalgia.
All right.
I see.
I'm
Very
gonna
nice.
keep this and I'm gonna put this on the bottom.
So Andy and I started playing Magic back in the 90s. 90s Magic.
Yeah.
We both played when like 3rd edition was what you bought. So we did have cards earlier.
Plains Flayer Husk.
Oh, can you put that up into the camera so I can get a better look at it? Or just a little bit closer so I can get an idea what it looks like. Flare Husk, okay, 1/1 creature. Nice.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Comes with a germ. There's my germ.
All right, so I'll pass the turn to myself.
Yes,
So I'll
that's
drop.
you.
I'll play a swamp,
Swamp.
and I will then play a Plague Rizalka, which so it's a 1/1 creature with pay. I can pay 1 black and sacrifice a creature to give target creature -1/-1 until the end of turn.
Sweet. Okay. So we're already playing the kill your other players' creatures things. I assume you're passing. Okay.
Yep, I pass.
Okay. Second planes.
Are you in a bad sitch?
I'm just thinking.
Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, Andy and I both played back in the 90s, and I gifted my cards to my younger brother when I got out of Magic because he was still playing and I wasn't, and I didn't, at like 15 years old, have the foresight to be like, maybe these will be valuable someday.
No.
But I gave them to him, and he probably sold them for pot money.
Yeah.
Because I definitely had dual lands that he no longer has. So
much glare.
But then he gifted me with a shoebox full of Magic cards several years ago that he had found in a closet, and in them was a Tundra.
That's true. All right, so I'm tapping 2 for a kite sail, slapping that on my Flayer Husk.
Isn't that a if I'm correct, that's a you cast ability.
Oh yeah,
you're
you're right. I can't. It doesn't come onto the battlefield equipment. I've been playing too much Zendikar Rising.
Yeah, exactly.
Artifacts all do that.
I think that's a
I'll
huge
one.
I'll take that one. I'll go down to 19th health.
Yeah.
Do I have my giant dice? I do not see it. Actually, no, I do. Okay, I do have my giant dice. So I will be going down to 19.
Hang on.
The die roll is stuck.
It's stuck. What happened? I'll just reconnect.
But yeah, so he gave me a box full of cards and he was like, I don't even know what's in here. Just, you're welcome to them. I know you got back into Magic. And I was like, yeah, thank you. So I started going through it and I went through a lot of them. I didn't get to go through the whole box right away. I brought it into Battleground and gave it to my good friend Kale, and said, hey, Kale, can you just take a peek through this and pull out anything that's like worth anything, or is like a decent card to play? And he was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, did you look through this? And I was like, I looked through a little. And he was like, not hard enough. And handed me the Tundra. I was like, oh, hello.
Very similar story I have.
There we go.
Hello, dear.
So I'm sorry. I pass to you, Neil.
Okay. Thank you. Draw. I will play a Plains.
Yep.
I will attack you with the Plague Rizalka.
Yep.
And second main
combat
phase,
damage.
I will cast Everflowing Chalice, and I will
Oh.
pay a kicker of 1.
Mm.
So this will enter the battlefield with 1 charge counter on the Chalice.
So the Rusalka just does 1 damage, right?
Yep,
Chalice
only
from
1
the
damage, and I will pass turn after that.
Okay. Okay. So Plains. Put the kite sail on the flare husk and swing for 2 in the air.
All right, I'll go down to 17.
Skin of inches.
Yeah. This is not how this deck is meant to go, but you know, it'll happen eventually.
I have had decks like that where I'm like, this is supposed to be a fast deck, and I'm sitting here shuffling my cards.
Pass.
All right, I will untap, draw, main phase. I will start by attacking for 1.
Okay, I take 1.
And second main phase.
I was
I
hoping
will.
for a ninja. You don't have any blue.
I don't think there are ninjas in this.
No, I don't think
Modern
this is
Masters.
No.
I will then tap 3 and play Blinding Soul Eater, which, so Blinding Soul Eater has an ability on it that for paying 2 Phyrexian white mana, paying a Phyrexian white mana, or base that means white or 2 life, and tapping, I can tap target creature you control. It is a 1/3.
Okay.
I will then play Selesnya Sanctuary, entering the battlefield, returning a land to my hand, which I'll return my
Yes, the
basic
bounce
planes,
lands.
Yeah.
and I will pass turn.
Oh man, I was so happy to see the bounce lands in this. There was
They're
some
very,
good
very
stuff
good.
in Kamigawa. Like those were Kamigawa, right? Or those
I don't think so.
yeah.
Best lands are for they are return the original Ravnica set.
OG
There you
Ravnica.
go.
Okay. All right. So another planes. You guys a 1/3 and a 1/1.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna put out a mortar pod.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So you can
And
sacrifice
crack it.
creature. Yep. To deal 1 damage.
Yep, to get rid of your small guy.
Okay. My
The
small
1/1.
guy will die. Be careful how far you're leaning your hair camera over inch.
Yeah, just show you my cards.
Sorry, I didn't get a
Um,
good look.
Get my hand,
Move to
Neil.
combat. Swing for 2.
All right, I'll take 2. I'll go down to 15.
And I'll raise the alarm. Do we
Raise
have
the alarm. So you
soldier
get 2
tokens?
1/1 dudes.
Yep.
All right.
We do not have
Bong.
soldier tokens, so these are soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Pass.
All right, I will untap,
Good.
draw, I will play a plains.
It is so good to play paper Magic.
Oh,
Like,
Feels very nice right now.
I know Wizards would love to be able to like go fully online for the most part and have everyone playing online Magic, but seriously, paper Magic is, I love it. I
it just
love
has a
it.
feel. Yeah.
Sorry, just to mention, you didn't throw away your Mortarpart, did you, Andrew?
Oh, you're right. I threw it in the graveyard when I cracked it, or cracked the germ it was attached to.
Yeah, I noticed a problem at that moment.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. I will myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap 5 mana,
Okay.
and I'm going to play a Skyreach Manta for 3.
Uh-huh.
So it has Sunburst 3. I'm spending black, white, green for the
I
colors,
remember the Skyreach. Yep.
and I will pass turn after that.
Okay. Well, you got your flyer.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm winning this race. I'll put the mortar pot on one of my little dubers.
What's the equip cost for Mortarpod, just out of curiosity?
Equip 2.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. Here. I don't know if you can read.
Yeah, it's focusing. Yep, thank you very much.
And yeah. Pass.
Pass turn. All right, thank you.
Pass the turn.
End your turn, I will pay 2 life and tap your flyer.
Okay.
Smart move.
Yep, that's how it works.
Get rid of the flyer.
Well, how much have I hit you for? What are you at?
I'm currently at 13, but I'm going to try and change things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a cranial plating. And I'm going to equip, cranial plating is +1/+0 for each artifact I control. I currently control 4 artifacts. I will equip cranial plating to Skyreach Manta.
Oh no.
And I'm going to attack you for 7.
Oof.
Is that lifelink?
Oh,
No, that is not lifelink.
if only, right?
I'm down to 11.
I could have done that better, but that's
That was
magic.
a
I'll play a
solid hit.
second cranial plating after that.
Oh man. Okay.
I'll pass
All
turn
right.
after that. All my cranial plantings. Be careful.
So much plating on that.
Cranial plating is definitely one of the most rewarding cards for playing a artifact deck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a runed servitor out, and why can't you equip it instant speed? Why do you have to equip it sorcery speed? Doesn't help. Doesn't help. No, I'm just gonna keep things the way they are. No, I'm gonna put the mortar pod on the servitor.
Yep.
There. Excellent. Pass.
Okay. And your turn, I'll pay 2 life, and I'm going to tap your flyer.
Yep.
So I'm currently at 11.
Yes.
I will untap. Draw.
Put
Land
a
for
second
turn for a
cranial
swamp.
plating. This could be game.
So currently my Skyreach Manta is a so I currently control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Five.
artifacts.
Yeah.
So currently
So
is an 8.
it's going to be a
three,
13-13 if you put the second one on there.
which I will be doing.
Yeah, and I've got no flyers, so that's game.
All right. So I'll just equip for formality and tack you with a 13-13 flying Skyreach Manta.
That puts me at -2.
With a whole lot of armor on its head.
Yeah, that
Very
was
much.
fun actually. So I spent most of the game with an otherworldly journey in my hand. Oh, there. And I was like, I can bring this out as emergency defense. Like I could have flickered your guy once
It made it a 1-1.
and made it bigger.
Yeah.
Oh no, it would have been a 1-1
No,
because Skyreach Manta is a
you're
0/0
right.
creature.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
You
think
could
of-
have exiled my Skyreach Manta and it entered the battlefield as a 1/1 flyer.
Yeah, and all the stuff would have dropped off of it, and you would have had to re-equip it.
That's true. I would need to
Weird
then have
prolonged
played
things.
2. I would then so you're currently 11. I would need to play another artifact though if I had it in my hand, which unfortunately I had. Actually, I would also need to re-equip. So I had not only that, I had 2 more artifacts in my hand.
Nice.
I had a kite sail and a slick slicer.
Mm.
I don't think I had anything that would really have helped me an awful lot. I had a Mighty Leap in my hand, or in my deck. I could have thrown something in front of it.
There's a reason why cranial planing was also banned in standard.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult card to compete against since it's very versatile, and not only that, it basically buffs your creatures to a absurd degree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially in a
it's
mostly
gross.
artifact deck. I had one in here as well.
Yes.
So that was fun. Amanda, do you want to play a game, or do you want to throw to pie?
Let's start a pie and we can also play later, if that's okay.
Yeah. Neil, what's your schedule for tonight?
I will be available. Yeah, thank you, because I'm actually about to eat. But my schedule is I have no real major plans. If you set me a time, I'll make sure I'm free for that time.
Oh, we already discussed the fact that I'm bad at scheduling. Like this was supposed to happen at 5 and it happened at 7 or
Yeah.
at 6.
Would you prefer I schedule the time?
We'll figure something out. We'll let you know ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me at least a 30-minute heads up.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, we can do that.
Sounds cool.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining
Thank
us. This was
No
so
problem.
good. I'm so glad we got to do this. I'm so glad we got to play some paper magic, because it's something I still enjoy, and I wish I had more time to play with.
It's
So-
a very. I love paper magic, and as you see, I like to strategize and play a lot of it.
Yep.
And I can't. Every opportunity I see to play it, I always take it up.
Thank you so much. All right.
Have
Have a
no
good
problem.
one.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Good to see you.
I know.
Bye.
So good to see you and talk to you.
Good. I'll talk to you later. Just let me know
Yes.
when.
Yeah.
We will.
Absolutely.
Goodbye.
So chat, we are going to throw to our good friend Insidious Pie.
Yes.
Who is
We're gonna throw to our friend Pi. She is doing audience play along games like Jackbox and the like over on her stream. So we're gonna throw to her, and yeah, we will see you in.
For the werewolf game.
Yeah, we'll see you for
at
werewolf
about
later.
11 o'clock.
I will see you for my Read Aloud stream at 10 o'clock.
Oh, that's true.
We'll
yeah.
be hosting that. So yeah, and then we will do werewolf. Werewolf.
All right. So let me do the thing.
Do the thing.
No,
Ooh.
my mouse. This is so much fun. I'm having so much fun with this.
Yeah.
But we are off to see Insidious Pie. Say hello to her. Give her the raid. Raiding now. I dropped my mouse, but no, we're good.
Right now.
See you over there.